The barter shoe story, one of my favorite stories. Let me tell you why. You see, this story holds one of the simplest yet most profound and important messages of all for all of us. If you visited the rural areas in South Africa now or many years ago, you'd notice that even in the tiny little rural villages along the way, you'd keep seeing signs for Barter, the shoe company. So when it came to brand dominance in these kind of rural way out areas, Barter was visible more than any other major clothing brand. Do you want to know why? Well, you see, at the end of about the 19th century, just as Africa was kind of opening up as a market, all the manufacturers of shoes and other clothing in England sent their reps to Africa to see if maybe there was an opportunity there for example, in this example, for their shoes. Now, all of them came back soon enough with the same answer. Nobody in Africa wears shoes. There's no market for our products there. You see, all, except for one very inexperienced barter rep. He came back saying, nobody in Africa wears shoes. So there's a huge market for our products in Africa. And that's why signs promoting barter appear all over Africa, even in the most remote places. It's why barter shoes are basically known as the shoes of Africa. So what's this got to do with you? Well, it's how we look at things and how we see them. It basically illustrates why having a positive outlook is a quality very well worth cultivating. And yes, my friends, it can be cultivated. It's actually a skill that you can learn and practice and get better at, just like a golf swing. Another example for you is a couple of years back, I went to the sales conference in Johannesburg. It was called the National Association of Sales Professionals, or something along those lines. And they had this panel of experts, in the sales industry from all over the world, and some of the most successful people in sales. And sitting next to me in the audience was a very, very young, brand new, fresh out the box account manager from some other company. And, he was just a few weeks into the job. So after the presentations, when we went for coffee, he just couldn't wait to give me, his verdict on what he thought of these panel of experts. He said, with a kind of contempt. That was nothing new. I already knew all of that. While trying not to sound judgmental, I said, well, I see what you mean. But funnily enough, I ended up taking about 6 pages of notes, nonetheless. So he gave me this dirty look, and I didn't have to really know what he was thinking. I could just tell. He was probably saying, with that attitude in his mind, I know more than her, and she's been in the industry way longer than me. You see, it's all about our perception, how we see things. The fact is that people all see things very differently. A great example is feedback forms after an event. One person will write, didn't take anything away, the session was boring, not interactive. Well, another person will write, thank you so much. I took so much out of it. I feel pumped. Were these people at the same conference? Yes, of course they were. Each of them had seen and heard the exact same things. But they had looked at things differently and listened at things differently. Perception. You see, Wayne Dyer says, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So this is really very important. We can literally change our life. If you think of that barter shoe story, just from a perception change and seeing a great opportunity, the whole future of barter in Africa was changed. So here's a tip for you to help you out, coming from the Silva Method. Whenever you think anything negative or say anything negative, especially about yourself, it's called mental house cleaning. The minute you say it, just say cancel, cancel, and straight after it, replace it with a positive statement or use the term better and better. And just as a side note, a negative comment doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. A negative comment means you're saying the opposite of what you want. So focus on what you do want. Don't say the opposite. Don't say what you don't want. An example is, if you see a kid running towards a door really quickly, you can almost guess that they're going to bang that door loudly when they leave. So what do we most often say? Don't slam the door. Well, what does that do? It creates an image in our minds of the door slamming. And you see, the mind loves images. It thinks in pictures. So it has the reverse effect. So the point is, when we want to make impressions or imprints in the mind, we don't want one of slamming the door. So rather say, please close the door quietly behind you, or something along those lines. Now this may be stating the obvious. Thinking or speaking positively may be sounding really obvious. But my friends, there's a huge difference in knowing this and actually implementing it in your life, hour in, hour out, every day, and cultivating a habit of positive thinking. So folks, use the cancel cancel technique. It's a great way to start being aware of what we think and what we say and develop a positive thinking habit. For example, I'm no good at explaining things. Cancel cancel. I'm getting better and better at explaining things. Have a wonderful day. God bless. And if you want more info, see the website silvamethodaustralia.com.au.